Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to talk about Word Bearers and Alpha Legion. And I haven't looked at either of these things yet. They've had their updates on the Warhammer community site ahead of the Codex launch, and I believe the Codex has been available to some people, but not to me. So we're just going to go with what Games Workshop is sharing with the vast majority of us, and have a look at the Warhammer community stuff. Now, I don't know what either of these guys have. I don't actually know what either of these guys have got because I've been away for the weekend. I've just been having a nice relaxing time. I haven't checked it out, so we're going to go in blind and we're just going to be pleasantly surprised by whatever we find. Hopefully, unless it's terrible, in which case we won't be pleasantly surprised. We'll be not pleasantly surprised. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's go into Word Bearers first. Let's save Alpha Legion for last because, let's face it, Alpha Legion have got a great potential for hilarity, which I'm hoping that Games Workshop have taken up, but we'll find out. So, Word Bearers. Word Bearers are the true faithful of chaos, blending their prodigious skill as Space Marines with a fervent dedication to the Dark Gods. Yep, well, that's 100% accurate. On the tabletop, Word Bearers armies will combine powerful aura abilities with demonic allies, making for an adaptive and durable force. Sounds good. So, Legion Tactic. Profane Zeal. Excellent wording. The Word Bearers march to war for the glory of the Chaos Pantheon, stirred into a rapturous state of fanaticism by blasphemous catechisms and the dark promises of the ruinous powers. You can re-roll failed morale tests for units with this trait. Yeah, alright. That's actually fine. That's not bad. That's well, re-rolling morale tests is always going to be not bad, but again, that fits the Word Bearers. They are religious fanatics. They are literally going to war for the purpose of well, it's a holy war, isn't it? Except it's more unholy than holy because they're fighting for the side of the Chaos Gods, but it absolutely fits them. It fits really well. So, the other things that the Word Bearers get. Demagogue, all friendly Legion units that are within 6 inches of a Dark Apostle in the morale phase can use his leadership instead of their own. That's pretty good. That's nice. Aspire to Glory. You can re-roll failed wound rolls in the fight phase for friendly Legion units within 6 inches of an exalted champion. Again, looking good. Looking good. And oh wow, okay. The Voice of Lorgar. This warlord speaks with the authority of his Primarch. When he commands others follow without question or hesitation, increases the range of any aura abilities on your warlord's datasheet. That's nice. That's good. And of course we've got the usual addition of things that aren't specific to Word Bearers. I mean, some of that stuff up there wasn't either, but Mark of Nurgle. Yeah, the Miasma of Pestilence. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls to target that unit. Again, that's pretty good. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that the Nurgle stuff that came in Dark Imperium, that was one of the spells that you could select from that. Or at least I remember using it, so I hope so. And finally, a Tide of Traitors, 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. If you do, pick a unit of Chaos Cultists and remove it from the battlefield. You can then set it up again, wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield and more than 9 inches away from any models at its full starting strength. Wow, okay. If you pick a unit of Chaos Cultists and remove it from the battlefield, and then it comes back at full starting strength. I like that. I do quite like that. Again, it's just a Chaos Space Marine stratagem. It's not specific to Word Bearers, but just being able to remove a severely mangled cultist unit and then just dump it back on the board at full strength is a nice ability to have. I do like that. And finally, the Word Bearer stratagem, the actual full-on Word Bearers only, 1 command point. And use this stratagem when a Word Bearer's character attempts to summon a unit of demons to the battlefield using a demonic ritual. You can re-roll any of the dice used in the summoning roll, and your character will not suffer any mortal wounds for rolling doubles or triples. Again, that to me, pretty good ability, and 100% Word Bearers. So I would say on the face of it, it looks like they've done it again. They've got a decent spread of good stuff, all of which is fluffy. Rerolling failed morale test, that makes perfect sense. I really do like the Demagogue and Exalted Champion stuff in there as well, and increasing the range of aura abilities from your Warlord for 3 inches by 3 inches even is nice. And that command point could be used for hilarious things with those cultists. What's the maximum squad size of Cultist Army? I can't remember. Cultist unit. I can't remember the top of my head. I've got it in my head that it's 30, but I might just be talking shite. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with that. I'm liking word bearers. They're looking good. They're not looking weak or sort of shitty. It doesn't look like there's been any sort of horrendous lack of effort. I'm worried. Yeah, not bad. So let's move on to Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion are awesome, as you already know. So come here, stupid window. The Alpha Legion are notorious for their insidious tactics and expert training, and Alpha Legion assault strikes from several directions at once as cultists, infiltrators and vanguard units reveal themselves in a brutal crescendo of fire. That sounds about right. So, the trait. As we've seen with the Raven Guard, -1 to hit is huge as it markedly increases the durability of every unit in your army. What distinguishes the Alpha Legion from their loyalist brethren is their selection of units and new combinations available within the Chaos Space Marines Codex. With this trait, you'll be able to take full advantage of the flexibility of Chaos Space Marines, whittling down your targets at range, then closing in for brutal melee if they dare approach you. Okay, so we just have the Raven Guard chapter trait, but it's Alpha Legion instead. Warriors of the Alpha Legion are master duplicity, able to mislead and misdirect even the most vigilant of enemies before delivering the killing blow. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target units with this trait if they are more than 12 inches away. That's here's the problem again. It's not a bad trait. -1 to hit is pretty damn good, but it's just the same as Raven Guard, which is not as good. That's it's okay. It's a good ability. It's just it does fit Alpha Legion, but to be honest, I was hoping for I don't know what I was hoping for. Something to do with deep striking, maybe something to do with infiltration or something like that. Subtracting 1 from hit rolls is good, but I don't know. It doesn't feel. It does feel Alpha Legion, but the problem is that I read it as Raven Guard first, because Raven Guard have got the same thing, so it feels more Raven Guard than Alpha Legion, even though it's not a bad thing for Alpha Legion to have. And also, hidden in plain sight is kind of. I've never thought of Alpha Legion as being somehow harder to hit because they are masters at infiltration and, you know, plotting and God knows what else. I've more thought of them as being able to set up troops without people even knowing about them, not just knowing about it but not being able to hit them very well. I don't know, that doesn't, like I say, good trait, but it doesn't feel particularly Alpha Legion to me. You may well disagree, and that's fine. I don't know. That doesn't quite have the same satisfaction that some of the other traits have got. That fit their chapters, well, their legions really well. This just, yeah, I don't know. It's not doing it for me. Strong, but not appropriate in a way, it feels like. What else do we have? We've got a couple of nice spells here. Death Hex. The sorcerer places a dire hex upon his enemies. Wards and energized shields flicker and fail, leaving the foe exposed. Death Hex has a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select a visible enemy unit within 12 inches of the psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, that unit cannot take invulnerable saves. I like that. Yep, I like it. And Warp Time, which I don't know why sounds like something you'd pick up in a video game to allow you to complete the level quicker. Warp Time has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, pick a Heretic Astartes unit within 3 inches of the psyker. That unit can immediately move as if it were its movement phase. You cannot use Warp Time on a unit more than once per psychic phase. That's pretty good. That's good. I like that. I like that. Nice and fluffy, nice and fast as well. Chaos Familiar, 1 command point. Select a friendly Heretic Astartes Psyker. That model can replace any of its psychic powers with the power of your choice. I think we've already read that one once, but yeah, it's still good. Fire Frenzy. Use the stratagem machine phase before a Hellbrute shoots. If that Hellbrute did not move in its movement phase, it can fire all of its weapons twice, but all of its attacks must target the nearest enemy. Oh, the nearest visible enemy unit. Fair enough. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, they've made it up. Alright, round of applause for Games Workshop there. They've made it up. They've made up for it. They've made up for the good but doesn't feel wholly appropriate trait. I am Altharius. See, this is the other thing as well. Altharius is how I usually pronounce it. but I have heard Alfarius as well. Whichever, pick your poison. I'm Alfarius. The Alpha Legion are experts in the art of deception, and none more so than this Warlord. In addition to this Warlord trait, your Warlord has one randomly selected Chaos Space Marine Warlord trait. If your Warlord is slain, you can immediately select another Alpha Legion character in your army to take their place and generate a Warlord trait for them, including this one. If the mission you are playing grants victory points for slaying enemy warlords, your opponent will only achieve that objective if all of the Alpha Legion characters in your army have been slain. Nice. Nice. I like that. Oh, I like this as well. The stock up on Gary's make maximum use of I'm Alfarius. Oh, this Warlord trait allows your Warlord to inexplicably escape death by revealing he was one of his underlings all along every time he dies. That is dumb. It's silly, and I absolutely love it. They managed to get See, now I can't remember how I pronounced the name Alfarius, because I've pronounced it like 3 different ways. They've managed to get it in. That's the important thing. They've managed to get that in, and all sins are forgiven. I no longer am too bothered about the copy-paste job for Iron Warriors and for the Legion trait for the Alpha Legion, because of that one Warlord trait, which I don't think is even that practical. I don't think it's even that, like, on the face of it, it's funny, it's fluffy, even if it is a bit meme fluffy, but I don't really know how viable it would be to just ram your army full of characters so your Warlord never dies, unless you are just playing for victory points or just trying to slay the Warlord. But, you know, it's funny and it's fluffy, so that's dumb, that's daft. So, mostly positive this time around. I'm liking the Wordbearer stuff. I'm liking the Wordbearer stuff a lot more than I'm liking the Alpha Legion stuff. As I say, the Alpha Legion trait isn't even a bad trait. It just doesn't feel like it fits that well, and yeah, I don't know. I would have much preferred something to do with infiltration or deep striking or something like that. Some sort of deception, not just, oh, it's harder to hit them. But you can't win all of them, and for most of them, they've been really good. I think it's only the Iron Warriors and the Alpha Legion that have had traits that I don't think have been that great, even though they are okay. So far, not too bad. And of course, we'll have the Renegade Space Marines next time on Wednesday, and we'll also take a quick look at the Grey Knight stuff as well, because I don't think we've covered that yet, because it all came out all at the same time as the Chaos Space Marine stuff. So we'll have a quick look at that too, as well as the Renegade and Fallen. Hopefully that'll be good. Yeah, I'm mostly happy. Mostly. I'm not even complaining too much. Mostly happy. Thank you very much for watching. As always, there's a load of nonsense all over the screen. I'd be interested to hear what you think about the traits, about the abilities, about the stratagems, all of that stuff. So let me know in the comments below. I always read them because I like to know what you think. And yeah, I'd be interested to see what you make of the Alpha Legion one, whether I'm just being fussy or whether you agree, essentially. It's fine not to. It's alright. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.